continue with the home front, the disability situation in Antigua and Barbuda.
So for individuals don't know, so I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis at 24, about 8 years ago. I'm 32 now. And in 2020, to be specific, I was removed from the schedule. And
the
then
schedule of
the workplace. So I was a teacher. I teach for the government of Antigua and Barbuda, and I was working at Sherax at the time, and I was removed from the schedule. And 5 years, 7 months, and 4 days later, so the judgment actually, so the public now knows about the judgment, but the judgment was actually read on the 24th of May. There are lots of fine details with court, I will say to anybody. Court is a thing. 5 years later, we now have a judgment that I was wrongfully terminated. And even in the judgment used the words as oppressive and harsh, and the way in which the company carried out their dismissal, no termination letter. You removed me from the schedule and never paid me. You did not do the full examination. And I will say to anybody, the win is for the disability community. So while my face and my name is there, the company offer, and I've had multiple posts on my social media page. It's Joshuanette Facebook. I'm encouraging individuals to go and read. There's 7 parts. I think there are at least 2 more to go up on my social media page where I've been sharing the communication that was sent to me, Dave. And just to show, if you are really a reader, and you have to be a reader to understand, read the letters that were sent to me. Read the WhatsApp messages that were sent to me, the gruesome truth behind being disabled in this country. I think it's part 2 or 3. You're gonna read that the company, not me, I didn't want to go to the union. The company took me to the union. The company decided that they want me to do an examination. But in the WhatsApp message, they expected me to pay. And then I would have responded, I don't have any money to pay. If you are sending me for an examination, you should pay. And then they said, get the receipts and we're going to make the payment. And the doctor would have recommended I should have done an x-ray because I have slight scoliosis also, and I should have done an MRI. The company refused to pay for the MRI because they said they could not afford the MRI. The company. So bear in mind, a company when I left, the water was $21. They decided, I want people to listen carefully. They took me to the union. They brought my health on board. They then said, we want to do an examination. They then turn around and say, you pay for your examination that we asked you to do. And then when I said I didn't have any money to pay, the company decides, okay, you don't have no money for pay. I don't have no money for pay either. So we're going to do a half Cox examination and then create a report, and then we never issue no termination letter. I want people to read the messages because it's important for people to understand the foolishness surrounding disability. And for me, because I'm an advocate and I believe I'm a fighter, my prayer to God, I don't want to be a fighter, Father Jesus. I don't want to be a fighter. I want to be a hot girl, Dave. I want to be a hot girl in the soft life era. Why am I fighting the battles of life? I have screenshots from 2020. So then the company says, okay, we're not going to pay for the MRI. We're going to pay for the X-ray. And talk about the medical practitioner. I'm not calling the name, but go on my Facebook page. The medical practitioner in this country, they produce a report which they should not have produced. Because if you as a medical practitioner you said you need to do 5 things for me to give you an analysis, and I say I am only doing 2, why are you producing a report? You produce a report and you don't send the patient the report. You send the company the report because you said to me, and I have it in the screenshots, we cannot give you your report. So me go to the doctor, and me with my 2 old foot go and then examine my 2 old foot. I go up to Mount St. John, and Mount St. John do the x-ray on Joshuanette Francis. And then the doctor says, I cannot give Joshuanette Francis the report. I have to give the company the report, and then the company gives you. The company gets my report, and the company gets the report in December. They don't communicate anything January. They don't communicate anything February. They send a letter in March the 3rd to be specific. The letter is
of what year?
2021. So I want people to understand timeline. I came off the schedule October. So November, December, January, February, March, they send communication saying, well, we're not really terminated. We're giving you a severance. You're full of, you know, I don't know why I don't want to hire you no more. Because you have a disability, you have problems in our country.
In our company.
In our company. They offer me $6,000, Dave. Six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want, do not take my word for it. I have a copy of the letter on my Facebook page. Go and look my page. I went to check the entry. My page is open today. They offer me $6,000. I'm like, are crazy people than me? No, but a crazy people, how I deal with? How do you not pay for the full examination, not give me a termination letter, which is a breach of the labor code, C section 41, I think? You must issue someone a termination letter. They never issued me a termination letter. One of the complexities of my case, I want the transcript. I don't care how much it costs. When they pay me the money, part of the money, if I buy the transcript from court, because I want people to read exactly what the attorney came to court and said.
We got to take a commercial break.
This is Observer Radio.
Stay locked to Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
Joshuanette Francis is with us, and of course, the disability advocate and founder, Good Humans 268. Judgment was handed down and in favor of Joshuanette Francis. And they have the exact figures now, 61,000 something.
Yeah.
And you were telling us, based on the attitude and the facts that the doctors decided that you can't get anything from them, it goes to the company.
And it's just.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Didn't the company pay for whatever they're going?
So they paid for the X-rays and they paid for the actual doctor visit. They did not pay for the MRI. And to date, I even asked that the court should have insisted that they pay for the MRI. The court should have insisted that they do a full examination, even if it's 5 years later, a full examination. And I'm not speaking for Joshuanette, I'm speaking for the disability community. Any person who has a disability and you as a company decide you're going to terminate this person, you as the company must pay for a full examination. And when the full examination is done, we can make a determination, because we're saying, I want people to be very understanding. And I want people to say $61,000 isn't any money. My mortgage was $320,000. Go back on my social media. Shout out to the Eastern Caribbean Amalgamated Bank. I was initially approved January 2020, reapproved October for $300,000 to build a house. You take me off of your schedule, I lose that opportunity, and now I only get $61,000. Did I really win? Because legal fees will eat up 25, which I'm not even exaggerating, because you have to pay a fee to represent me, and then they get a percentage of it. 25% of this money is already gone. So the money that left back, I can't even build a boathouse. I cannot even go to Willie D and build a boathouse. So did I really win? Even when you run the calculation, I've been fighting for 5 years. Calculate that 60,000 divided by the 5 years. How much did it cost for me to fight every year? Think about all of the phone calls, all of the follow-ups, all of the meetings, all of the printed documents. Did I really win? I won in principle. And I said this to two ladies who were having a conversation initially, and I said, I felt, because I wasn't on island when the judgment was read, so I only heard on the other line, and I felt that I lost. I felt as though while I won in principle, I felt as though, and I still feel that way, that I lost. And it's very vivid. And again, people see the win and they think it's all great. But the Monday, so the judgment was the Friday, and we didn't speak about my trip to Young Leaders of America's initiative, but the final pitch competition was the Monday. The judgment was the Friday. And the Monday, I still could not hold up myself. A part of my pitch, and I will say to anybody, Peach, the young lady from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, she was phenomenal. And if I had my A game, I probably would have come home with a trophy. But that particular day, I was devastated. I was just over it. Like I say to anybody again, people see work trips and they see all of the glitz and the glams, but they don't see all of the things that goes in the background. When we got to court, we spent 6 hours in court for February 2nd, and we spent 6 hours in court. I want people to go on my social media. We did not need to spend 6 hours in court, because in the judgment that the doctor gave, you will see that their lawyer, at the end of the 6 hours, just before we close, she's like, we conceded. We already admitted that we did not give her a termination letter. And the president of the industrial court said, if you as the attorney, you are saying you already conceded and you are willing to pay her for doing her wrong, why did we need to come to court and spend 6 hours? Why did she need to go on the stand and your HR going? And you literally wasted the court time. And I will say to anybody, I am sharing my story, and someday we're going to have a full video talking about the little nitty-gritty details of the fight, because it's not about Joshuanette. It is about individuals with disabilities. It's about Dehana. Dehana is a child from Potter's Primary that I've spoken to on multiple occasions. Kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. 5 years. Every single time she needed to use the bathroom, she needed to pee, Dave. She needed to poo. She had to ask somebody for help because we did not have an accessible bathroom. We were able to get the accessible bathroom in, not for the September morning when school started in grade 5, the December the bathroom was done, so she was able to get the bathroom. Can you imagine a child, her mental health? I want people to know when she was in kindergarten and grade 1, the school, fairness, we talk about children, you want to protect them. They called her mother. Can you imagine a child needed to pee? And they have to call home the mother and say, can you come and take your child to pee? Government system. When we have a Disability Act in 2017, I am sharing my story and I want others to share theirs. We need to begin rallying behind disability. And I want people to know, I have a mild disability. You see me jump, laugh, dance, split. I'd be doing the most. And if they can do that to me, who is not severely disabled, what happens to the other subsections of the society? What are we doing for our people who are in need? It speaks volume to our country. It speaks about how we see the old and how we see the disabled. It speaks about the standard of our country, and it look good. It look good, Dave. It look good, tal.
Now, the fact we're here, and your work continues. Good Human 268. How are things with Good Humans 268?
I want to change legislation for waste, and I want to give individuals with disabilities jobs. And today, and I will say since the judgment, I've been tired. I'm still tired. Because there are days I still just, I question, and again, and I'm being honest. People see $61,000 and think, oh, it's so much money. It's not. I lost my mortgage. I lost so many things. The $61,000 isn't going to even put a dent. And then we started Good Humans 268, and Good Humans 268 has come with its own set of challenges. Yesterday was the 15th of June. 20 full months I have not been paid. That means ECAB, who give me remember them go for give me a little mortgage, but ECAB gave me my money for my loan. When they issue the money and me even decide me to pay ECAB alone is $20-something thousand. So $20,000 on gone to legal fees, $20,000 on gone to ECAB. What the rest money they? It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. And ECAB isn't the only person. I haven't been paid for the last 20 months. So that means it's not just ECAB, it's ACB, it's my insurance, it's all these things that needs to be paid. And the reason why I have not been paid for the last 20 months is because Good Humans has come with its own fair share of challenges. And Good Humans started because I want to do different things for individuals with disabilities. I want our voices heard. I want to see change. And I will say to anybody, and I was literally smiling, I'm willing to die for this cause. I'm willing to be a Rosa Parks. I'm willing to be a Marcus Garvey. I'm willing to die fighting for individuals with disabilities, because I know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep. I know what it's like to have a mortgage. ECAB told me, go on my Facebook page. I don't take my word for it. In order for us to release the funds for your mortgage, one thing you have to do is put $12,000 on your bank account as a security. I call all my friends, all of them. Well, I need $12,000. I know you can't give me $12,000. I begged here, begged there. Can you imagine the work that I put in to first even be approved for a mortgage on my own? At 25, the amount of hours I had to work, the house plans and all like that happened, and a company decides you are disabled, we do not value disabled people, we do not care about your feelings, your goals, your ambitions, we're taking you off of the schedule, we're not going to pay you when we take you off the schedule, we're not going to pay for this full examination, you a dog in this whole grand scheme of things because we have money, we are big, we are great, you not been on body, you take away my life goals, you ruin my trajectory of life, and now 5 years later they be like, people rejoicing, but did I really win? And the answer is no, Dave. I won in principle, and now we have someone with a disability who has stood up and fought the fight for years, but did I really win? And while I won in principle, what all did I lose? When they give me the money, Dave, I cannot build a boathouse that Willie the offer. I cannot go and build a boathouse. So my children need to live in the man place. So did I win?
Oh my goodness,
I love to talk the truth. And I want others with individuals to begin talking about disability. Because Dave, if more people were talking about Dehana and all of the different individuals with disabilities and the injustice, she would not have waited 5 years. And I want to be that annoying person. I was fired, and so, there's a child named Dehana. I want to say it everywhere I go so people now talk about disability. I want to talk about Kimoy, I want to talk about St. Clair, I want to talk about Jermaine. What has to happen with disability is we need to begin talking about it so much that people think are annoying, but that will force the system. The reality is, the Disability Act, on record in our legislation, 2017, Dave. We're in 2026 and the tribunal isn't up. The council isn't up. Why did we go? Yes. Why did we go and form a law, but then not enforce the law? Why are we doing things backward? Why are individuals with disabilities still fighting for basic rights? Dehana is going to secondary school in September, and I'm now having conversations about what happens in secondary school. And I said to somebody, so they never know she got to grow up. She go patterns for 5 years. They never know at some point she was going to graduate. And now she's going to graduate. What is the plan for now? She needs to go to secondary school. What is the plan for transportation? What is the plan for bathrooms? What is the plan to ensure she might not be able to do everything, but we can give her somewhat of a normal life in secondary school? She was in school for 7 years. 7 years, and now we're scrambling like headless chicken. And we're saying, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that. But we didn't know that 5 years ago. We didn't see her growing up, and she's not the only one. Adele is overrun. School for the Deaf is overrun. And I'm asking, when we started our project and I went to School for the Deaf, their role was 16. The role is now 32. Is it fair that the School for the Deaf has literally doubled their role, but the building is still the same size? The teaching cohort is still the same size. Adele has been crying out for years for help. All of those children who leave from Adele, who leave from Victory Center, who leave from School for the Blind, nothing is happening with them when they become adults. The rehabilitation center, it's been down since 2020. And I can talk about the different things with disability. What has to happen, Dave? We need to talk about it more so change can happen.
Joshuanette Francis, of course, always a pleasure to be with you. Of course, the force and the things that you fight for, they're very human. And I do hope that along the way, others will join the fight and succumb to the things that you're requesting for the good of human beings in Antigua and Barbuda. Thanks a lot for being with us. You know I'm going to be always rocking the case, and we will talk another time.
Thank you for having me.
Stay safe, and here's hoping the carnival fets and all the fets in Antigua get some of the things that you're saying we ought to get to save the government, well, us, the taxpayers, some money All right. So stay safe. Thanks for being with us today. And of course, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you for anyone who is listening.
Well, they're listening. They're listening. We need them to act on it, right?
Yes.
Stay safe now.
All right.
Top of the hour.